Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Strife's Talking Points. And today I'm going to cover a story that was actually the first thing I saw this morning, and it came up in both my YouTube feed and my news feed. So here we go. CNN host Don Lemon doubts his ability to withstand toxicity and stay on the air throughout the 2020 election. First story is from Deadline. Don Lemon, who has been at CNN since 2006, says the toxicity of social media has balkanized vocal state of the nation in the Trump era, make him uncertain whether he will remain on the air doing his current show through the 2020 election. Quote from Don Lemon: "I was doing a shoot in the park the other day and someone shouted at me, 'I'm sick of watching you. We built this country. I can't wait for CNN to fire your blank you blank." He recalled Thursday night during a keynote session at the Future of News Summit. So all these sorts of people call you on the phone to say these things. They write you. I don't go on social media more. It's so toxic. That's Don Lemon describing his problem. Now, during the interview, which was about while the 20-minute session touched on a few other topics, Lemon's misgivings about the current era in cable news and popular political culture provide a dominant theme. So, on CNN, they're one of the many channels who are basically chasing the Trump bump. They have focused so heavily on covering the president and being one of the main producers of the negative storylines, the misquotes. They've already stated themselves that they're not journalists. They are strictly covering talking points to get ratings. I believe a lot of that comes from, what's his name, Dorsey on the channel. And Don Lemon is one of the people who is actually trying to ratchet up the toxicity in the country. And I'll kind of go through that here in just a moment. Lemon said the lack of personal safety has taken a toll. At 53, the host of the 2-hour nightly show on CNN said he has become more concerned about changes in his day-to-day reactions. Not only sparring with guests and pushing back on the Trump administration, but while Granahan described as a unicorn, a openly gay black host in primetime has made him an unusually big target. Now, again, that's a part of identity politics. I've seen Don Lemon, and I can't think of anything rather egregious about him. I did not know he was 53 years old. If you're looking at the picture, Don Lemon looks pretty good for 53 years old. He's aging very well. He added, "Everything catches up to you. I don't even know if I can deal with this level of toxicity for so long." Lemon did a show with many flashes of humor during the conversation. He recalled getting invited to a celebrity cookout hosted by Bobby Flay. He remembered thinking, "My gosh, it's so refreshing. I don't have to talk about the president. I don't have to talk politics. I just have to judge someone's hamburger." I believe he's directly referring to the content of his own show is what he is not liking. And with the way CNN ratings have been tanking, he should probably change the content of his show. Maybe he could cover things like this, more human interest piece. Anyway, this is the first story from Deadline. Next, Newsweek, of course, covers the exact same thing. They use the exact same quotes. And here we go. According to the Hollywood Reporter, this is the different part. Lemon said one particular Trump supporter calls him 300 times a day, that he receives junk mail from critics who found his address, and some even call authorities and make false accusations at him. The journalist, now they're misusing this word. Journalist is not what Don Lemon is. He is an anchor. He is a public spokesperson for CNN. Journalism requires investigation, requires discussion, requires learning. Don Lemon has had his feet planted firmly in the sand of anti-Trump since Hillary lost. And everything that CNN and people like Don Lemon have done on the news is just be negative. The journalist said the Trump era has put at risk my privacy, my safety, my security, and the safety and security of my loved ones and family, the Daily Beast reported. Again, he calls himself a unicorn. On the show last night, fellow CNN host Chris Cuomo raised with Lemon's reports that he may leave the network soon. Says, "I've got the best job in television," Lemon said. So he's probably not going to leave. He may just hopefully change his show. And I'm going to go through real quick here one of his quotes. Just please listen up. Watch.
Don Lemon. The President of the United States is racist. A lot of us already knew that.
Now, again, he's referring to the president's, why are we having all these people from these blank countries come here? Why are we having uneducated, undocumented people with no skills coming to the country and not doing what a majority of the world does, which is have a migration that based on education levels? Now, granted, I kind of sit at the point where I'm pretty sure that we should have X number of people come to the country each year, not X number of educated people, but limiting migration would probably be, or immigration would probably be a good thing for the U.S. as it is in most other countries where you control what's going on. And the citizens and the people of the nation should be able to have say in that. Now, starting out, Trump's a racist. That's his first line.
Today, President Trump talking with lawmakers in the Oval Office about immigrants from Haiti, from El Salvador, and Africa said, and I quote, "Why are we having all these people from countries come here?"
Now, he's quoting someone else who was in the meeting who said that was a quote. And he can't do that. He has to quote the person who said it, and it was a Democratic lawmaker, I believe, who said that was what Trump said during the meeting, and Don Lemon is basically deciding that it's true that he heard President Trump say that, and then he's moving on. Again, Don Lemon ratcheting up the toxicity, ratcheting up the negativity, and going personally after the president. So that's an example of Don Lemon doing exactly what he said's going on. Further quotes here. Another one here from, of course, Daily Beast, where they're going here. Fears of his safety could force me to leave CNN. Right there. There it is. Now,
journalist, I don't really like being
Don Lemon,
here, but because of how important it is for each of us to stand up for what is right and what is decent, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel starting right now. So President Trump is on vacation this week at his golf resort in New Jersey, but he's not taking any time off from Twitter and apparently from watching me on CNN, which he denies, by the way. I know this because he has tweeted a nasty, hateful swipe at me and LeBron James that we've been discussing here. You probably read about it or saw it somewhere. I sat down with the NBA great for a primetime exclusive. That was last week.
Here's the thing. LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike. So that's the racist, hateful thing. Both men are there openly on primetime television to criticize and go after the president, and that's the comment. Dumb is not a racial slur. Dumb is just what we've kind of seen over time coming out of some of these people, not just Don Lemon. And this is a little clip from Fox News. I actually watched this live. I tried to find the actual quote. I really don't feel like playing the video here. The biggest terror threat in this country is white men. There is no white guy ban. Again, what does that even mean? And we're allowed, what would we do about that? So he's immediately going after the majority population in the country, which commits less crime, which does less murders, which the smaller group, that's what he's going after. Because that's him being basically a racist, ratcheting up the negativity, moving the polls further down, just continuing to aggravate this stuff. And why? Because he's had people say a few things to him There's no travel ban on them, Lemon said. There's no ban. You know, they had Muslim ban, which was actually a ban extended from President Obama, which was not considered a Muslim ban back then. It was considered a failed state ban where you weren't allowing travel from countries that couldn't be vetted. It seems very simple to me. Again, more on the liberal side of all this, and I'm sick and tired of the extreme leftist hogging all the news decisions. You have the extreme left and you have the middle right. Fox News is kind of on the middle right. They are pro-Trump in every way. CNN, MSNBC, CBS, all of the rest of them are anti-Trump day in, day out, day in, day out. Just, it's not working. With all the coverage, there is no white guy ban. So what do we do about that? Directly ban citizens of a country that they were born into is not something I think you could do. Now, these are some Fox News stuff here, but so what we have is Don Lemon had someone saying, I want you to get off air. I'm sick of watching you. We built this country. So that's his thing. Someone yelled at him. Let's go to USA Today story from not too far back. This is from November of last year. Seems like eternity ago. Tucker Carlson's home attacked. I don't believe they broke the door, but of course USA Today will print anything to get it out there. These are protesters outside of Tucker Carlson's actual home. Outside of his actual home. He was doxxed by people on the left. He had protesters outside of his home calling him racist scum in his neighborhood. That's what happened right there. So you're out in public on a shoot and one person says something to you versus getting doxxed and having people come to your home to protest you directly. Come up, beat on your door. And that's it. Smash racism. A group did this. Smash racism there. And then you have one of the most famous people, Carlos Maza, who is running right now, who is a activist at Vox, supported by NBC, openly calls Tucker Carlson a white supremacist in his Twitter bio, right here. Tucker Carlson is a white supremacist, IG gay wonk. This is the same person that is currently trying to wreck YouTube, destroy its ability for people who operate on YouTube as their income, as reporters, as video makers, as entertainers, as whatever. If you're on YouTube, this man here has came after you heavily using openly slurring other people and then being upset that in rebuttal videos people are able to make fun of him for saying the things he says. It is just amazing. This is the world we live in, where Don Lemon and his pity parade is now taking over a news cycle. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. So, my thoughts on this is Don Lemon is actually just trying to get ratings up for a show, saying he might leave because people are mean to him, while at the same time attacking massive swaths of the country. You go look up the videos where he was just berating Kanye West, saying, your mother's rolling over in her grave, going after the man in every way because he liked the fact that Trump had really brought down black unemployment and was actually getting into the communities, money, jobs, things like that. And if he pushes out a lot of the illegals, that will also really ramp up the stuff you've seen from Black America, which is an old school Democratic idea. Get out some of these illegals, cut down immigration, and let them prosper. Give that money back into these communities. $105 billion worth of money, I believe, is spent on illegals. And since the numbers are now quadrupling each month of how many are coming in, that amount of money will also go up. While at the same time, Antifa protesting at Tucker Carlson's home while having a person who is actively pushing an adpocalypse through YouTube openly calls the same man a white supremacist. These actions are not considered targeted harassment if you're on the left. These are just what happens when you have bad ideas. Having someone rebut your videos, having someone shout at you when you're in public on a shoot, and I would like to see video of this. I would like to hear what's said, while at the same time openly calling for division, openly calling for action, openly pushing this anger, this toxicity into the world. And then if anything ever comes back at you, freak out. Yeah, so that's my thing. I think Don Lemon is simply trying to get some ratings out of this, get some headlines, get people to actually make videos. And of course, it's going to happen because it is newsworthy. This is something interesting to see the lies, the racism, the false narratives come out of Don Lemon, who actually in 2014 was voted Worst Journalist of the Year, which I believe is hilarious because he is not a journalist. He is a news anchor / activist who is a racist, who is actively sowing division and then upset when something comes back towards him. Following this man's footsteps, Carlos Maza. So I think you're going to see this from the news over the next couple of weeks, is that leftist journalists, activists in the news media are going to start saying how they're being attacked by the people they're attacking when they're causing the problems, not solving them. But anyway, that's my takeaway from this. However, 53-year-old man, he looks pretty good for 53. Thank you all. Hope you have a great day. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, dislike the video, whatever you want to do. It's up to you.